So I got an email from my fellow property manager, Dina. Hi, Dina. I hope you're doing well. And she asked me this question. She said, Mark, I'm looking for thoughts and advice on managing homes that won't sell. We're starting to get a lot of calls from people who can't sell their homes, and so they may want us to manage it. I'm not really sure if the price would be worth it to take these on. I know there's a lot that comes into play when someone moves in. I don't want to tell tenants, hi, thanks for renting this house. By the way, you may have to move in less than a year. Am I overthinking this at all? No, Dina, you're not overthinking it at all, because it's a big deal and we're all experiencing right now. We're all getting those calls from prospective owner clients who are saying, I'd like to sell it. I've been trying to sell it. I can't sell it. So I think now I'm going to convert it to a rental property. And we need to tread carefully as we talk to those prospective owner clients. So let me offer you 5 expectations that you need to make sure you're resetting with those individuals, because it's not an investor. They don't think like an investor. They're not investors. They would rather be selling the property. So a couple things to keep in mind when that call comes in. Here's the number one thing we say to that individual. Okay, so you tried to sell it? Yeah, I've been trying to sell it. Didn't sell? No, it didn't sell. And now you want to rent it? Yes, now I want to rent it. Okay, when are you going to go back and sell it? I'm going to sell it in a year. I'm only going to keep it on the market for no more than a year, and I think the market will improve, and then I will sell it. And we say, okay, well, we don't recommend you do that. What do you mean I don't recommend you? If you're going to sell it in the next 12 months, sell it now. Well, why should I do that? The market's slow. I know it's slow. But let me ask you this, Mr. Owner Client. Have you fixed it up? Like, did you just put a bunch of money into it? Oh, yeah, it looks great. I put in new carpet and new paint. I got it all ready to sell. Oh, so you just put a bunch of money into it? Yes, I did. Okay. If we put a tenant in place for 12 months, there's a possibility that it's not going to look as good when that tenant moves out as it does today. It looks beautiful today. You made it beautiful. The new tenant comes in, who's going to be there for, let's just say, a year, and they may not trash the place, but the walls are going to be scuffed, the carpet's going to need to be re-cleaned, there may be some damage that's done to the property. It may not look as good as it does today, number one. And number two, we don't think, now your market's yours, but this is what we're saying. In our market, we don't anticipate sale prices to be any higher 12 months from now than they are today. So what you don't want to do is take your property that you can't sell today, that you got all fixed up, you put a tenant in place, it takes a couple months since they're vacant, you finally get a tenant in place, they're there, they pay their rent, hopefully, for the period of time, they move out, you got to put more money back into the place, and the sale price you're getting 12 months from now is the same or maybe even less than it is today. That's not a good plan. So therefore, what we're recommending to our owners, Mr. Owner Client, is that you have to have a minimum of a 2-year hold period. If you don't have a minimum of a 2-year hold period, we strongly recommend you simply sell it now. You're not going to make any more money in 1 year. 2 years you might. Now, it's still their decision, but we're having that conversation with those owner clients. Number one, that's number one. That's expectations number one. Make sure they understand that. Expectation number two, and I just did some of this, explain the risks of turning that beautiful, pristine, for sale property into a rental. Make sure they understand it's not just some damage risk, but there's a possibility the tenant may not pay the rent. There's a possibility it may take us a long time to get that tenant out. Renting is not a Band-Aid. Renting is not a short-term solution for you not being able to sell your property. It's a great long-term solution. It is not a good short-term solution, Mr. Owner, because of all the risks that come with it. All you're doing is trying to kick the can down the road. Don't do that from a renting standpoint. You may just be better off sitting on the thing for a period of time than you are placing a tenant in the risks that come along with that. So just make sure they understand those risks is number two. Now, number three, this is my personal recommendation. Don't allow, and this is what we say, we will not allow properties to be listed for sale and for rent at the same time. There is an exception to that, which I will share with you here in just a minute. But if they come to you, they say, I've currently got it listed for sale. My agent can't get it sold. So I think I want to have you try to rent it for me, and I'm going to have it listed for sale by this other agent, and I'm going to have you try to list it for rent, and whatever happens first, we'll go with. And you say, oh, that's great. However, Mr. Owner Client, we're not able to accommodate that. See, from an agency standpoint, what we can't do is try to list your property for rent while you're also listing your property for sale. Now, there's a legal side of that, an agency side of things, and your state may or may not allow that, but there's also a practical side of that. Because here, my friends, is what's going to happen if you do that. You're going to get the property listed for rent. You're going to take applications. You're going to go through the process. And you're going to call that owner and say, great news. We just accepted an application. They're on their way in to sign right now. Oh, we got it done for you. And guess what that owner is going to say? Oh, that's rather ironic. Hold on. Don't sign anything. My agent just called me and said they have a really interested party. They expect an offer in the next 24 hours, so don't sign anything. That's going to happen. I promise you it's going to happen. You don't want that to happen. Don't put yourself in that situation. Or worse yet, you'll call them and say, we just signed a lease. And they'll say, oh, well, I need you to cancel it because I just signed an acceptance offer 2 minutes ago. Don't let that happen. Do not allow the property to be listed for sale by somebody else and you for rent at the same time. Now, the exception is this. If you are going to be listing it for sale and for rent at the same time, that's different. So we, in our company, if the owner says, gosh, will you guys try to sell it and you guys try to rent it? Sure, because now we're controlling that narrative. And if we get the offer on the sale, we cannot accept an application on the rent. So unless you're controlling that, I don't recommend you let an outside agent do that. Now, before I share expectation number 4, I want to thank the sponsor for this video, VPM Solutions. How are your remote team members doing for you? Are you using remote team members? If not, you should. They can save you a tremendous amount of money on your payroll expenses, but you need to do it right because the risks of doing this wrong are dramatic. That's where VPM Solutions comes in to be the solution. They are property management specific to our industry. So it's not just a place where you go find a VA. It's PM specific. That's massively important. And their whole platform lets you source and hire and train and pay the stuff all through there. You can pick them out yourself. They've got a full service where they can do everything for you. Jump on their website. Look at the job descriptions they have. It's amazing. It's amazing. Jump on there, though. VPM Solutions. I know these guys. You all know Pete. You hear his podcast for NARPM. Great guy, great company. Check them out, but you got to start using VAs if you're not already. Okay, expectation number 4. And this goes back to getting the condition of the property rented. Mr. Owner, you need to understand that you can sell that property as is because sometimes they wanted to sell it as is, didn't they? In the example I gave a minute ago, I said they fixed the property up and it was pristine. Sometimes it's not pristine. Sometimes they just wanted to offload it. They're like, I know it's missing the stove and the vinyl's a little torn and the walls are a little scuffed, but I don't have any money to put into it. So I couldn't sell it, but now I want to sell it. And I want to rent it. That's fine. You can sell as is. You don't need to fix up anything to sell. Any property can be listed as is for sale, but it can't be rented as is, Mr. Owner. And owners don't understand that. Well, why not? I mean, it's fine to sell. Yes, it is fine to sell, but it's not fine to rent because when it comes to rent, we have habitability standards and we have internal standards for our rent, for rent properties. I can sell it for you just like it is. And that's a fine line to walk, and owners often don't understand that. You have to explain to them why it doesn't really matter the condition to sell, but it does matter the condition, and it does need to be rent ready in order to rent it. And then last, but certainly not least, expectation number 5. This is just our internal rule. You do this how you want to do it. But our internal rule in these instances where we're going to take it on and we feel that it's okay to do, under no circumstances would we ever offer a lease less than 12 months. I just don't recommend you do that. It's not worth your headache, hassle, and work to go through all the problems of bringing a property on, offering a 9-month lease, because it's hard to rent. We know that on the front end. And then someone is there for 7 months. You give them a notice to vacate. They move out. The owner takes property back and sells it. And, oh, well, gosh, that was a nice $600 payday you made for the last 10 months of work on that property. For us, we're not going to do that. It needs to be a minimum of a 12-month lease. You're going to be getting more of those calls. Be thinking about those things. Hey, before you sign off here, let me tell you a couple places I'm going to be that I would love to see you at in the next few months. In September, the week of September 16th, I'm back-to-back. I'll be in Bradenton, Florida for a NARPM group out there. Followed on September 18th, I'll be in Pensacola, Florida, speaking to 2 different groups. If you're in that area, would love to see you. In October, I'll be in Chesapeake, Virginia, speaking to a PM group out there. Excited to see you guys and do that. Then on October 24th, I'm going to be speaking at the NARPM National Convention. Now, there's going to be an add-on day. If you're going to be joining me at the NARPM National Convention in Orlando, Florida in October, which I strongly recommend. If you've never gone, you got to go. Great event. They're doing an add-on bonus day where I'm going to be speaking almost a full day on how to run a successful property management business, the business end of the business. Not how to do leasing, but how do you run a successful business? We've done this for decades, and we're going to be sharing everything we do on that. And we just announced this last week dates for our 2026 Visit Grace opportunity. That's where people can come to my office in Denver, January 21 in Denver, Colorado. It's a small group. We haven't even started advertising it, and it's halfway filled up already. So small group of people, but if you want to come visit me, we're going to tell you exactly how we do what we do. You meet my team, spend 2 days with us, jump on our website, PM Build, for information on all those events. My friends, I hope that's helpful to you. Until next time, as always, I wish you success.